The NBA has released a schedule for our San Antonio Spurs. Is it good, bad, or ugly? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports, TGIF. And first off, apologies to everyone I ignored on social media. I wanted to do a prediction and live reaction to our San Antonio Spurs schedule. So once the schedule was released, I stayed away from X, Instagram, and comments on yesterday's video so I would not have any spoilers. I do think I got carried away yesterday with the prediction of 40 televised games. I'm going to back up on that and say, let's go with 33 televised games. The Cup games are likely to be televised, but they won't be on the schedule yet. And I also want to predict the back-to-backs the Spurs are going to have this season. I think last season we had, was it 7? It feels like that number is a little low, but I really don't remember. So I'm going to go with 7 back-to-backs this season. I did see one little spoiler from one of you before I muted all notifications on X and Instagram, is that we had one game on Peacock so far. I believe that's what you were saying. However, don't forget games were added to the Peacock's schedule, if you will, throughout the season. Let's get into it. Let's look at the schedule. You guys have probably already seen it. I have not. This is a preseason in front of us. Let's get into the regular season, and obviously I already know 8 games I talked about yesterday because they were the big TV games. They were spoiled already. Regular season. Engage. Make it so. Go. Guess a lot of people are looking at the Spurs schedule. All right, we're going to break this down month by month. We're going to start off with October. We have 2 televised games in October. Alrighty. And as far as back-to-backs, we have 2 already. October 23rd and 24th and 27th and 28th. Okay. I can't say I'm a big fan of that, but all right. Televised games are the Thunder and the Rockets. Let's take a look at November. Starting off against the almighty Utah Jazz. Powerhouse Jazz. Actually, the Jazz might be better this year. All right, we got ESPN Prime, NBC, ESPN Prime again. That is 5 games. The Mavericks, the Warriors, the Pistons, the Trailblazers, and the Lakers. 5 televised games. Alrighty. What do we got on the back-to-backs? November 6th and 7th. November 29th and 30th. That's 2 back-to-backs. Not looking too good in my prediction for back-to-backs. I said 7. We're already at 4. I got to think the players hate back-to-backs. I can say I do not enjoy them either. It's a lot to string 2 nights in a row. All right, December. A little shorter schedule in December. It looks like I'm going to be way off on my prediction of 33 televised games. Holy moly. All right, we've got NBC and then ABC/ESPN. Only 2 televised games. Take that with a grain of salt, though, an asterisk. If you look at December 3rd to the 13th, there's a 10-day gap there. That's for the NBA Cup. I think every one of our NBA Cup games was televised last year. Probably will be this year. That's going to be at least 3 games? We have 3 televised games. What do we have on back-to-back, Spurs fans? The 15th and 16th, the 20th and 21st. That's 2 more back-to-backs. Are we rolling seriously with 2 back-to-backs every month? January. Oh my Lanta, we got a lot in January. We have 4 games in a row that are going to be nationally televised. Actually, January is a busy month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 on Prime. Both games on Prime versus the Pelicans, which those are the games over in France, I believe, based on the times. So we got a 10:30 game on Sunday. One of you mentioned, I did see a comment too, TSR, you have a 10:30 game. That's clearly the 10:30 game. We have back-to-backs on ESPN, or schedule-wise, Miami and Minnesota. Then Houston on NBC and the Warriors on ABC. And then we have actually 2 games in a row that are on... Nope, never mind. NBCSN. So that's NBCSN is the channel I usually watch the Peacock games on. So that is a channel that's available on YouTube TV. I don't know where else it's available. So we have 6 games in January that are televised. Okay. What do we got on the back-to-backs? January we have January 26th and 27th. That's it. 1. That's 7 back-to-backs. That was my prediction. That means we can't have any more for my prediction to come true. Not feeling good about either prediction. Right now we're at 16 televised games and 7 back-to-backs. I think the back-to-back thing, there's a back-to-back already to start February. Well, TSR was wrong in the back-to-backs. What do we have televised in February? We have the NBCSN game, ABC, Prime Video, NBC, Prime Video, ABC, That's 7 televised games. Wait, let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. At least they're on NBC. I get NBC over the air. The problem is I don't get ABC, and there's some games on ABC. What do we got for back-to-backs in February? We got the 1st and 2nd, the 17th and 18th. That's it. I'm way off in back-to-backs. All right. It is what it is. March. Oh, my. All right. I'm seeing a lot of... I'm a little too far there. A lot of televised games in March. Still too far, TSR. And I can only do one take of this because it's a live reaction. So if I mess up, I mess up. All right. March, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. I'm starting to feel like my game prediction's actually getting a little closer since I dropped it to 33. We got 2 on ESPN, NBC, Prime Video, ABC, NBC, ESPN, Prime Video, once again on NBCSN, which means YouTube TV. Whole TSR is going to be subscribing to that again. 9 freaking games. Come on. Killing me, hey. All right, let's get our board updated. I got a little notepad tracking the games for us. All right, back-to-backs. We have the 18th and 19th. Is that it? 18th and 19th. It's the 18th and 19th. So that's 1 back-to-back. Let's finish up with April, which will be a shorter month, of course. April, we have 1, 2, 3 televised games. I'm very curious what the total is on the televised. For back-to-backs, there shouldn't be many here. 1, April 6th, April 7th, and then the playoffs will begin, and the Spurs will be en route to the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals. We're going back, I'm telling you. All right, let's look at the back-to-backs first because I already know I'm way off on that. 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11 back-to-backs. Before I shot this video, in part of my head, I said, didn't we have like 11 last year? Then I thought, no, it couldn't have been that many. It probably was 11-ish last year, and we have 11-ish again. Well, not 11-ish. We have 11, barring any back-to-backs in the Cup. As far as the televised games, 2, 7, 10, 16, 23, 30. It's 35. Wow. We can double check that math and now add it in reverse order. 3 and 9 is 12, and 7 is 19, and 6 is 25, 8 is 28, or 3 is 28, 5 is 33, and 2 is 35 televised games. Wow. I don't have a thumbnail for this because, for obvious reasons. Your thoughts on that, Spurs fans? 11 back-to-backs, maybe you don't really care so much on that end, but 35 televised games. And I talked about this in yesterday's video. If you live in America, hey! That means the NBA League Pass becomes less and less and less of a value. Because you're going to pay the same amount, but you're getting less for the same. And if it goes up in price this season, you're going to get less for more. And let's not forget the NBA Cup games, too. I'm going to assume at least 3 of those are televised, and that means likely 38 televised games, which means the 40 I said yesterday actually was not too far off. Maybe I should have stuck with my 40. It's probably going to be about 38 televised games before the playoffs at minimum. 37 or 38. Holy moly, that means about half the games you won't be able to see on NBA League Pass. That does bother me. I talk about it a lot on this channel because I think it's horrible that the NBA is making us watch, and as you saw at the schedule, we need so many different streaming devices to watch the Spurs. As a Spurs live streamer, obviously I'm going to get all the apps I need to watch those games, but it sucks, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, more than likely, barring Congress's involvement with what they're doing. So drop a comment down below. You probably have already seen the schedule, but now that we've gone over here again, are you happy that we're televised so much? Obviously we're not going to go back to being televised 3 times a year. Those days are over with Wemby being on the team, but do you wish that, at least let me be on the same thing. Like the Spurs are always going to be on NBC as a Western Conference team, and I don't know, the Celtics are always on ABC. Maybe not as. I just wish it didn't bounce around so much, and I have no doubt that we're going to see more games jump over to Peacock before the season's over. So actually, that original prediction of 40 yesterday, I should have stuck with it. That's probably going to be pretty spot on. That's all I got. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go!